All right, let's get your big breaking news that's coming in this evening. First images of Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping exchanging greetings at the G20 dinner that was hosted. Those pictures are on your screens there. This is the first handshake between Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping since Galwan. Remember, India and China are not scheduled to hold a bilateral meet at the sidelines of the G20 summit, but this picture has got tongues wagging on whether we're going to be seeing some sort of a poolside meet. For the first time, you see Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping coming face to face. There have been other international platforms where these leaders were seen together, but they were never seen actually corresponding, speaking directly to each other. And the first time you're seeing these pictures here on India Today, where Prime Minister Modi and the Chinese Premier Xi Jinping can be seen interacting, exchanging a few words, looks like a few words of greeting. They're seen shaking hands as well. And that is a very, very significant photo op. Geeta Mohan is joining us live from Bali with more details on this. Geeta, this will lead to endless speculation. What is the big takeaway from that handshake? Is it the first time that it's happened since Galwan?
Well, absolutely. You remember the SCO summit where the two leaders did not speak, did not exchange greetings. Even during the photo op, just immediately after the photograph was taken, President Xi Jinping walked out of that entire space and there was no conversation. Indian side also was not keen. But this time around, if you look at the visuals, very clear that the exchange was cordial. We do not really know what transpired between the two leaders, but because this is a dinner gathering, there are a lot of leaders that he was meeting. In fact, we are told he had a lengthy conversation with Secretary of State Blinken, and followed by a meeting, a brief exchange of words between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping. Again, we'll have to wait and see what that really means for ties between India and China that has soured in the recent past, especially post the Galwan clashes. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made it very clear, as also India and the External Affairs Minister of India, that there can be no, it cannot be business as usual till the time there are Chinese forces at the LAC not honoring the old agreements between the two sides and respecting the areas or the patrolling points. And certainly that is a concern for India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, if there was any exchange that could be more than just a few seconds, would certainly have conveyed that concern to the Chinese president. But we're being told that the exchange was very, very brief between the two leaders. Nonetheless, Akshita, this comes as the first exchange between the two leaders after the Galwan clashes. And yes, they did shake hands. This is a dinner gathering that is underway. So we'll have to wait for the officials to really brief us on what transpired between the two leaders at that dinner.
You know, the last time around, correct me if I'm wrong, Geeta, but the last time there was an actual correspondence, or at least where they were on the same platform, the same stage, was the SCO summit. But that time, we didn't see this kind of a handshake or any sort of greeting happening, which is why right now there's a lot of talk that things are bettering between India and China.
Well, the fact is that yes, the things are not going to get normal unless and until they're normal or status quo ante is maintained at the border. And until that time, there certainly are going to be conversations. We do know that at military and diplomatic level, both the sides are engaged continuously. But at leadership level, this certainly would be the first time that the leaders are meeting. They smiled. They were smiling at each other when the conversation was taking place. So again, Akshita, it's in the realm of speculation as to what really transpired between the two leaders. But because this is indeed, because it's underway, it is a social gathering, and therefore the cordiality also has to do with the fact that all the leaders are meeting in a very cordial and positive atmosphere. All leaders also trying to ensure that the G20 communique is adopted without a glitch tomorrow, and the sessions will continue. So we'll again have to wait and see. There was no bilateral, structured bilateral that was planned between India and China. Officials on both sides are saying it's highly unlikely. But a pull aside can never be ruled out in a multilateral fora, and that is what has happened over here. At the dinner, both leaders saw each other and then greeted each other. There was a brief conversation. An interpreter who was with Prime Minister Modi was there to interpret the conversation between the two leaders. But again, we'll have to wait for the officials to really tell us what transpired.
All right, Geeta, thank you for joining us with all of those details. Brief communication there. But you see the video here on India Today of Prime Minister Modi meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. You can see Prime Minister Modi saying something to the Chinese Premier, to which also Xi Jinping responds. The first handshake since the clashes in Galwan Valley. There's obviously going to be a lot of analysis about the body language, what was discussed, etc. And we'll, of course, get you the inside track here on India Today.